Sorry, I'm just finishing a Saturday New York Times puzzle. I'm so close.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. I usually just do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the Saturdays are the tough
That's the
ones.
crossword puzzle you
I'll
said, Len?
finish it later. Yeah, I do the New York Times.
That's a big thing though, isn't it? I feel like that's a lot of like tons of people are into the New York Times crossword puzzle.
Yeah, it's good to take your mind off stuff
I
for
sent the text.
30 minutes a day.
Yeah, I feel like I always watch Jeopardy. Like I just got done watching an episode and a half, so I
Yeah,
feel
that's a
like
good show.
keeps my brain moving.
Len, have you ever
Hey,
seen
Mark says that he thought he was on.
you ever seen
Does anyone
wordplay?
see him?
No, we don't see. I don't see
Workplace.
Mark Grace.
Yeah,
Kevin Riley,
it's
Kevin
a great
Dusold.
documentary.
Oh, it's a great documentary.
He's not in.
I love the Dole Clinton
Earlier today,
puzzle
isn't
on
it?
election day. That was really cool.
Click.
No, I sent him a new one.
Yeah,
A new one.
like clicking on the original link.
Okay.
Bruce, you a Jeopardy guy?
Yeah, I don't go way out of the way, but if I'm I try not to turn the television on in the afternoon at all, ever.
Yeah.
That's a rule, just to
Same.
keep myself functional. But I will, I'll DVR it once in a while.
I feel like it's going to be different. Once Alex Trebek is not there, as crazy as it sounds, but I mean,
Well, dude, I go back to Art Fleming, so don't feel
yeah,
bad.
right. But he's
People don't even
he's been doing
remember
that
him.
for.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, did Merv Griffin host it first though, or was Fleming always the original host?
I thought it was Fleming, but you might be right.
Oh God, he's calling.
Because I know Merv Griffin is he's the mastermind
Yeah,
for
he
all those
was.
game shows.
Yeah, he's the one who made all the money.
Bruce, do you
Right.
have enough slack there to put your headphones underneath your shirt?
Probably not. Try it.
I want to know
Bruce, do the
though
David
if
Cassidy. I like
Yeah.
three top buttons unbuttoned.
Bruce, you're gonna do the David Cassidy.
for
You're gonna do
ratings.
the Ruben Kincaid. I would ever wonder who was Ruben Kincaid. Like, was he their manager? Was he just some creepy dude who lived in the neighborhood, or was he like dating their mom? Who was Ruben Kincaid?
Yeah, he was the manager, right?
Is that what he was? I feel like I haven't watched
thought
that in
so.
so long. But I feel like there was always this underlying relationship with Shirley Jones, though.
Oh yeah.
Kevin, can you give me
Oh,
the
no.
She dated David Cassidy. at one
Kevin?
point.
Can you give me the 4?
Shirley Jones did?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
He's
Hey,
in.
Malik,
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a text, so keep an eye on your phone, please.
Yeah, Dusold.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right.
There he is.
Hi, guys.
What's going on, Mark?
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, Gracie.
I'm doing well. Well, I mean, you guys are changing the freaking links on me. You're changing that. I mean, what's going on?
Well,
And Bruce, you look very like astute with like a bookshelf behind you. Like you've actually read a goddamn book.
Everybody's mic
Your mic's
Nobody's gonna
I
pick me
can't
up
hear
through
Bruce.
the B-Mix, is they?
Is that you, Len?
Yes,
Hi, pal.
That's
I
me.
didn't recognize you with the beard.
I know.
I love it.
I know. Well,
It's a good look, man.
I don't like shaving, and we've got to mark this period of time, in posterity. And so when people see it 10 years down the road, they're going to go, he looks different. There must be a reason.
But Len, you can grow it like
And-
thick and
Bruce, this is
husky,
Kevin.
can't you?
Can you just check to make sure the connection's strong at the side of your computer? Pull it out and put it back in.
And hey, Mark, this is Kevin once again. Is it possible for you
Hi,
to
Kevin.
sit back at all a little bit more?
Doesn't seem to be working, Bruce.
Back
Can you
here?
sign out and sign back in, please?
Yeah, try that.
You like
And then
that?
can you bring your table forward a little?
My table forward?
Yeah, so you stay back like that.
Okay.
See this right here. Perfect. Right, tilt up a touch. There you go. Right like that's
You got it.
perfect. Just don't lean too far into the camera if you don't mind.
Okay. Hey, babe. Can you dim the lights just a shade? Just a shade.
You hear me now or
You
not?
you setting the mood for us, Mark? Once the
Yeah,
lights
you
dim?
know what?
Yeah, we got you, Bruce.
Oh, it's just like a strip joint, right?
Right.
I got you, Bruce.
Okay, good.
Hey,
You
Mark.
got-
Hey, Mark, it's
Hey, you
Malik.
sure
Are
you
you
want me
hearing
on
me?
this thing? Yeah, I hear you good.
Good. Hey, can you do me a second? We'll get started here in a second. Can you see this message I'm sending you?
I see Bruce logged in. Now I see Malik. Hi, Mark.
Great. All right, so let me tell you how the traffic's going to work here, Mark. We'll go through everything here in the A block, guys. So Cole's going to bring us in. Cole's going to say hello. He's going to introduce everybody. And then off of the introduction, he's going to tee up our first story in the A block, which is that it looks like minor league baseball could be going away for the season. And then we'll just talk initially about all the ramifications that could have on not just the Cubs, but throughout baseball. So, Mark, because we're using this system and we can't have free-flowing conversations, I'm going to kind of dictate who goes next. So, like I may
Okay,
put
I
something.
understand.
Yep, Bruce first.
Gotcha.
So make sure you're looking over there.
Even I can handle that.
No, you got it. You'll be great. No worries.
Did you want to, Malik, you want to start with Bruce on that, or you want to start with Mark since he obviously played in the minors?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
Let's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, you made it to the last cuts, Bruce. You were right there.
Jesus.
That's perfect. Let's start with Mark. So, Mark, he'll tee you up.
Yeah.
What are you going to ask Mark initially there, Cole? Just so he's not caught
Just
off guard.
how big of a loss would it be, if the minor league season was canceled? I mean, so many guys' careers obviously start in the minor leagues. About 98% of them.
I was about
Great.
to
John
say, yeah.
Oldroyd.
That would be a
So
travesty.
cool. So, Mark, once you answer that, I'll be putting them who's next and so forth over there, and we'll just dictate it from there, and then we'll just have a good A block and go from there. So,
And
remember,
and also,
this isn't
guys, first,
live. Go ahead, Mark.
okay. Sorry about that. How long do you need these answers to be? Do they need to be long-winded or keep them as short as possible?
Keep them. You can go long-winded, but just keep looking over at the message. And if I tell you to go 30 for your next answer, I need you to do that. But
Gotcha.
feel free to go like a minute. Yeah, feel free to go like
Bruce
a minute.
and Lynn both know very well that I can get long-winded.
Okay, well, we'll rein it in if we need to, but don't worry. Just you say what you got to say.
it.
Let's have a good conversation here.
You got it.
All right, cool. All right, Kevin, when you are ready, can you please give me a single of Cole?
Yeah, about 1 more minute.
Okay, thank you. So just a reminder, especially for you, Mark, this isn't live. So if for whatever reason you stop, just pick it right up and just keep going. You know what I mean? We can always edit out all the bad stuff.
Okay, no problem.
All right? We're going to treat it as live, but if for whatever reason something happens, just keep going and we'll figure it out.
You got it.
Gracie's a pro.
Mark, you bumped into Steve Berthiaume lately?
I have not seen Steve since all this insanity happened.
Gotcha.
I couldn't tell you what he's doing or where he is, to be honest with you.
Okay. If you talk to him, tell him I say hey.
I will do that. Guys, how's things in Chicago?
Messed
We
up
haven't been hit hard at
downtown.
all.
Downtown and south. Yes.
Single when they're ready.
Okay. All right, boys. Cole, you ready?
Yep.
All right, guys. Good energy here. It's a good topic, something that people really care about. So let's really dive into this and have some fun. So I'll be dictating your conversation through the messenger. Just have fun with it, guys. So Cole, I'll count you in here shortly, and we'll take off. You're all good, Kevin?
All set.
Okay. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome. Let's close out the month of April with a bang. You're watching Cubs 360 presented by Miller Lite. As always, I'm Cole Wright, and today we're going to discuss plenty of topics. But first things first, we'll talk about the Cub with the most electrifying personality in the history of the franchise. And we'll touch on a guy who is electrifying, but is he a trash talker? Anthony Rizzo. That and much more coming your way right here on the show. But we have to introduce you to the gang today because it's a busy day. And we'll start with a guy who's covered Chicago sports for 30 plus years. It's Bruce Levine. He's a Marquee Sports Network contributor. And when you talk about longevity, 16th season in the booth, that's what this year will be for our guy, Len Casper. And if you want to find a guy who led the 90s in hits and doubles, well, look no further than that gentleman right there. He's making his Cubs 360 debut. Mark Grace, welcome to the show. Now, guys, like I said, busy afternoon, so let's start down on the farm because we're talking minor league baseball. And reports this week have indicated that Major League Baseball could return to home stadiums in late June or early July. But as for minor league baseball, that remains to be seen. Now, minor league baseball has refuted a report that the season has been canceled, saying no decision has been made as to when it will be safe to begin the 2020 campaign. Now, the original report circulated on a blog claiming that minor league players would be put into a developmental camp. Now, while no decision has been officially made on minor league baseball, you can see how many people, not just players, will be affected by the cancellation of the league. Now, from AAA, AA, Single A, and Rookie Ball, you can see how it all feeds into the major league organizations at the top of the pyramid. Now, we saw the reports that Major League Baseball may be back as early as late June, early July in home stadiums, gang. So when it comes to minor league baseball, not so fast, at least right now. Now, Mark, if the minor league season was completely canceled, what kind of a hit would that be? Not just the players, but everybody involved.
No, it would break my heart. I think it would be a travesty. Played in the minor leagues and has coached in the minor leagues at the lowest levels and and also at the AAA level. The minor leagues are such an important part of baseball. The minor leagues are such an important part to people's lives. There's people that make a living either working at the stadium or front office people for all those minor leagues, and it would be I think it would be such a big blow to America's pastime if we didn't have some kind of a minor league season.
Yeah, I agree with Gracie. A couple of things to keep in mind, and they're kind of opposites. You know, in terms of a minor league season being in flux, I don't anticipate that that's really the case. I think it's Major League Baseball or bust. I don't see really any scenario that's realistic at this point where you would have any sort semblance of a minor league season. And the reason is because if fans are not allowed at the ballpark, that's all of their revenue. They don't get a lot of TV and radio revenue, as we know. So minor league teams, in order to just operate normally, have to have fans paying money for tickets to be in the ballpark. But Bruce, I know you're going to come next on this one. I've got a really weird one for you. and maybe this is more for independent ball than it is for affiliated minor league baseball. Is it possible that the only way we see minor league ball this year is if the major league season gets canceled and literally some TV networks would look for some programming?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility, Len, and it's a good point. But it depends on, again, look at the United States, look at the areas most impacted, look at the governors and the mayors of these particular towns, especially in these small towns, whether or not it's going to be okay for people to gather and show up. So your idea about, minor league baseball depending on getting those 2 or 3 thousand people in there on a daily basis, when they have a home game, that's you're right. It's key, and maybe some of those operators would do better by just getting a government subsidy to get by for a season. But as Mark said, this would be really tough. I mean, the idea that people don't have their baseball, but what about the development part? Unless you're bringing all your top young players into your minor league camps, where does the development go for these players not playing for a year? And it's just as bad right now, from what I understand, in the Dominican. They have a curfew right now from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. So there's not going to be any sending all of your people out of the country somewhere else to train. That's not going to happen. Though the only scenario I see that's possible is that there'll be an expansion of rosters, and that maybe 10 of your minor league top players are going to be on in a basis where they can play major league ball and maybe not accrue the same type of service time in the past. A lot of things are going to have to change and be kind of dealt with differently this year. And I know Gracie has some ideas about that as well.
Oh, okay. Well, you're losing it. You're losing an entire year of your development. So I can't imagine when I was 22 years old and on my way after a double A year, and thinking, okay, man, I'm gonna possibly be a major league baseball player next year. Now I don't get an opportunity to even continue. Not only are we not playing, we're not practicing. I'm not improving at all on the field. So I think Bruce, you're spot on that. And once again, I just think this would be a travesty for the game of baseball.
Len, how about this? How would the minor league cancellation affect the big league club's ability to make moves? When deals are done, they're usually done for prospects or for other minor leaguers.
Well, going back to Bruce's point, what I do think can happen and can be a huge benefit for some of the younger and really intriguing prospects is they may get to the big leagues a year or two sooner than they would have normally. I think of a left-hander named Braylon Marquez, who's throwing 102 miles an hour in the Cubs system. I don't know if he would have been ready later this year in a normal type of baseball season. But again, if we've got a 40, 45, 50-man roster with a huge taxi squad, maybe a kid like that actually gets some big league time in 2020 when normally he may not have gotten here until next year.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the development, at the major league level. Like Len said, this might be one of those odd years where you can bring minor leaguers up without any penalty, and they become a part of your major league team rather than, those veteran guys might be the ones most impacted that were going to be there maybe on a 1-year deal. They were in camp on minor league deals, and maybe they get all pushed aside at this point, and it's just minor leaguers that fill those roles. So there's a lot of variables that we don't know will exist. We won't even know if minor league camps will be at the major league teams' minor league facilities or at the spring training facility. If it's there, and will they get 75 to 100 players to be in there? Will that be allowed? There's so many variables that we just don't know at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to see a player like Marquez because 102 miles an hour, that'll take the logo right off your batting gloves. Now, still more to come right here on Cubs 360, including Javi Baez. He's a free agent after 2021, so we'll tell you why he may want to recommit to the Cubs, and he may want to do so as soon as possible. We'll explain next, right here. You're watching Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite.
Hey, so good job there, guys. Hey, Mark, are you? So the reason we had that pause there is because I was telling you to go next, and you must not have saw
For
it.
some reason, I thought Cole was going to tee it up, so that's my fault.
No, it's okay. I put that up. So just make sure you're checking it, and then we won't have those pauses.
Yeah, like I said, I like to have the host host.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me here?
The only,
This is
the
Kevin, the
only
director.
reason, Mark, sometimes I don't read to you is because if I see that it has you going next, if you start going, it's easier for them to clean up just a gap and close that as opposed to me talking over the top of you. So that's the
Talking
only reason
over
why I
it.
do
Yeah,
that.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
especially with this
Yeah,
with
I'll
the
pay
half a
better
second
attention.
lag in technology. No, it's all good.
Hey, Mark, so I'm just trying to get rid of the glare on your glasses off your laptop. Is there any way we can get a light on your face more?
A light on my face more.
Yeah, just to try and clear that glare up on your glasses.
And I could say I could take them off, but then I wouldn't be able to read the screen.
No, yeah, I want you to be comfortable.
Is there a way? So we want more light in my room? Is that what you want?
Yes, I think that'll help get rid of the glare from your laptop coming off your glasses.
Okay.
I can dim it.
And then, hey, Len, real quick,
How's
can
that?
you tap your microphone? I just want to make sure the audio is actually coming through. Yeah,
Yes,
see, I'm not
hello?
hearing that. So I think your audio is coming through your laptop or
That's
whatever you're
that
on.
would be a change. Let me try this again.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Did that
Yeah, it's still
change?
coming in
Did I
the
plug
same.
this in?
If you tap it, I'll be able to hear it
No, I can't
on the
hear
actual mic.
anything. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm gonna try a different pair of headphones. Hang on.
Stop.
And Casper.
Hey, Mark, thanks. That helps a little. I appreciate that.
Is that better? Am I just
Yeah.
dashing?
Man, Trevor's story is that good, huh? I feel like covering
Just
the
something
NL West.
reliable. You know.
I mean, 123 in 4 seasons.
Cole, I'll tell you this much. I would have loved to have played 81 games in Colorado every year.
I mean, yeah, I think a lot of guys would have.
Yeah. Even I had power in Colorado.
The ball jumps.
A lot of power, Grace. He had 150 home runs. Come on.
Yeah,
What's that?
He had 150
it's pretty damn
homers.
good.
No, I had 172. Don't sell me short there, Bruce. Come on.
Well,
Not
yeah,
that
but
I was
over
counting
30.
Mark,
them.
Mark, if you played in today's game, with like the launch angle and all everything that it is, do you think that
Well,
you
and
could
the
have hit more bombs if you would have given up
and the
some
ball
average
is
and
so juiced. The ball is
wound
so
tight?
juiced. Oh
Hello,
my
Yeah.
goodness.
hello. I can't hear anything.
Test. You got me here, Len?
Hello, hello.
Len, you got me here? Test.
I can't hear anything. I may have to call in again.
Yep. Sign out. Sign back in.
Golden Girls.
Can you name the Golden Girls?
Rose. Let's see, Rose. Dorothy. Wasn't there a Dorothy?
Yep.
And Blanche. Yeah, you gotta
Yep.
can't forget Blanche. And then there wasn't the old lady like Sophie or Sophia or something
Sophia.
like that?
Absolutely.
Sophia
Petrillo.
Sophia Petrillo. My gramps would never miss a episode of Golden Girls.
Well, I got one for you. Next level. What was the spinoff of Golden Girls?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know that one.
Empty Nest.
What is it?
Empty Nest.
Well, first of all, I don't think I ever saw an episode of Empty Nest, and I wouldn't have known that.
Remember with Richard Mulligan and Joe Isuzu, the Isuzu guy was the next door neighbor.
Oh, okay. I think I know. I didn't watch it. I know who you're talking about. I remember Joey Suzu. Yeah.
I got you. Christy McNichol was on that show.
Let me pull
I
up my
remember
notes.
Christy McNichol back on Family. You're too young to remember that, but
I remember that.
He's sending me a text. Hang on. He said he can't get back in.
Fucking great.
Uh-oh.
Kevin, just send him to the link.
Yep.
What's up, Cole?
Keeps just saying. Oh, nothing. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on Len. It just keeps saying logged in.
Okay.
There he. That's Bruce's whole shot. I like that. Like the catcher's gear on the wall. Bruce,
Yeah,
I never saw that
good
before. That's
stuff.
sweet. I like
Yeah.
that. Is that just a nondescript, or is that somebody's catcher's gear from back in the day?
It's from the late 20s or early 30s.
I was going to say that looks like who hit the homer in the Gloman?
Yeah, with Gabby Hartnett.
Gabby Hartnett. It looks like or Jody Davis. Let's just say it's Jody Davis.
Jody wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like that much.
You guys got
That's
me?
all
This
right.
one.
Gotcha. Look like John Kinsella's get up from Field of Dreams.
Are you hearing me on this?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Oh, tap? Okay.
No.
So
Not on
I don't know
not on
yet.
that.
You're not hearing me on the microphone?
I don't think
Hear you,
so.
Lynn.
Are you hearing this?
No.
1, 2, 1, 2. I'm up close.
Hey, Len, yeah, we're not hearing you on the microphone. Len, this is Kevin Riley. Are do you hear me?
I do. Let me try.
Hey,
another
you're using a
headphones.
phone or a laptop?
No, I'm using my iPad,
Using your iPad.
which is always yes. I haven't
Right.
changed anything, so if something happened with the headphones I had.
I don't think you have, sir.
It's probably like the same thing that happened yesterday with Taylor.
Just the headphone mic just stopped working or something?
Something was goofy with hers
Periodically we
yesterday
have
too.
this issue. Bruce has had it a couple of times. Usually signing off and signing back on resolves that issue. Right now, it's not that we're losing your mic. It's your device isn't recognizing that mic, and it's just using the mic on the iPad. That's what we're experiencing. So we got to get the iPad to go to that microphone. So you got to get into settings. Shoot, I don't have my Mac with me. I can't see a settings menu for
No,
a
I
Mac.
have. Yep. Where would it be on here?
I would just go right into settings and a search bar type microphone.
Microphone. Privacy, microphone. Okay. It
And by the way, Cole,
applications have requested.
Trevor Story is that good. He's a really,
Man, that dude's
really
got
good
some
player.
crazy numbers. He's got some numbers, man.
And he's fabulous on the defensive side of the ball too.
Yeah.
I'll take
I
Howdy.
do not see anything on here.
How do you feel about Corey Seager?
I think the kid.
Hey, Len, how about we
I think
just
he's
go
gonna
ahead
lose
and
his
get
job. I
your
think he's
going
gonna.
back.
I think
We
he's
go
gonna be
with that
somewhere else
microphone,
next
your
year.
iPad microphone
I
for
think
today.
that kid Nix.
You are legible. You do sound good.
Yeah.
It's just a little hollow.
Gavin,
All right, so
Gavin
we're just
Lux.
going to do it this way. All right.
That's what it is. Gavin
Yeah,
Lux.
but
I
right
think he's
now
going
it
to be
seems like
starting
his camera's
shortstop.
turned off.
Yeah, and Muncie plays second.
Muncie plays second. Yep.
Let me try this
That
other
dude
gear.
I
rakes.
think they got to find a
You
way to
don't think
get
it's the
Bellinger on the
headphones, though?
infield.
Which is crazy because they said when he got hurt, like, oh, we want him to, put, have, less stress or, less jeopardy of another injury. So let's put him in the outfield. Like, you
Let me
think,
go back to
I
the other
mean,
headphones and see if that
Yeah,
works.
you
let's
have
go
more risk
bang
of
into
diving,
walls. Yeah,
right? Like, I mean, I
you
know he
got
plays a
into
physical first
walls, and
base.
and he's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman.
He's nice, man. I mean, I think the only reason his numbers in his second year where everyone says that they were down. I think the only reason is because that Dodger squad, as you know, had so much interchangeability. Like it was Matt Kemp who was leading the league in the whole first half. So where do you put him?
And
It's like then it's
you're just the last 2 months of the season. You're getting everybody their rest. You're getting everybody their because they were up 25 games in the middle of August. So it's like,
yep,
okay, we can take this guy out after 5 or 6 innings or whatever you
yep,
want to do. I mean, it was,
Does
yeah,
it sound any
I'd take
better?
that guy in a heartbeat.
yeah.
Sound
I mean,
any
I think
better?
he's. I mean, maybe I'm biased because I've been
No.
watching that
Yes.
cat play since he first came in the
Give me a
league and
10 count
covered
if
him
you
the last
can, Lynn.
2 years, but he's really good.
Lynn, can you hear me here?
I can hear you. It's not. Still not.
No, but that's fine. We'll go with it for now, and we'll just we'll make note. No, we'll take care of it. Can I just get a 10 count from you? Just want to make sure I got you loud and clear here.
Okay. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
And since we're not picking it up on the headset, if you mind just projecting a little bit more just for today's show,
Okay.
we'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
I don't know what happened. I only have like 35 headphones with microphones, and none of them seem to work.
It's not your microphones. It's happened to me
Okay.
and Taylor.
Sorry. How did you fix it, Bruce?
Just signing on, signing off, and then using either a headset or no headset. Same as you.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. I'm ready.
All right, we back, boys. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Lynn, for your patience there. So, guys,
Oh, I'm
Cole's going
sorry.
to set up the segment here. Cole, remember that you are playing off Baez's home run in 2016 against the Giants. And then you're going to tee up that free agent shortstop list. And then we're going to
Yep.
tee up a chat on should Javi Baez sign early, because there's so many great free agent shortstops in his class. So that's what we're going to tee up everybody on. We'll go to Mark first.
Yep.
You good there, Gracie?
I'm all good.
Good, great. And you're good, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay, great. Here we go, everybody. Good energy here, guys. 3, 2, 1.
El Mago. That was Javi Baez with a towering blast, lifting the Cubs to a Game 1 win in the 2016 NLDS. And, of course, that catapulted them on their run to a World Series title. Now, Baez set to become a free agent after 2021 wraps up. So the Cubs, they have only 2 more years of him under their control. Now, check out the company that Baez keeps. That free agent shortstop class in 2021, it is deep, and it also includes Francisco Lindor, Trevor Story, Corey Seager, and Carlos Correa. Now, back here on Cubs 360 with Bruce, Len, and Mark. And Mark, we saw that crop when it comes to shortstop. So what do you think? Should Javi just plain and simple sign with the Cubs and avoid free agency in 2021?
I think if he does that, I think that's wishful thinking on every Chicago Cubs fan's part. But Javi he's just such a dynamic player. He's going to be, in my opinion, the top free agent out there. And you see what those guys are making these days. I think if I were Javi, I'd probably wait a little bit, play out the season, see how and test free agency. But Cub fans, I think, don't want to see that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Mark that he's probably going to wait. But keep in mind, Baez is a different player than these other guys. He was an all-star second baseman before he was an all-star shortstop. He plays Gold Glove third base. So this guy is someone that you can plug in anywhere for the $30 million a year that you pay him. He's a very valuable guy because of the fact that he embraces playing all those positions and does it at a Gold Glove caliber. But the Cubs had been talking to Baez over this last winter about a long-term deal. We don't know what the economics in baseball are going to be like going into 2021. That's also the same year that the CBA is up. So there's a lot of question marks with this season being up in the air, the CBA being there. It's very difficult to say which way he should play it or the Chicago Cubs.
You know, Bruce brings up a good point about Javi's versatility. And typically, when guys become veterans and they get near free agency and they sign with a team, a lot of times they say, I'm going to be your everyday shortstop. I don't want to play second base. I don't want to play third base. I don't want to play first base. I want to be your shortstop. Javi doesn't seem to me to be that kind of guy who would make any sort of demand. But I do think he is at the point where he is among the elite defenders at one of the most important positions. So I would say for the Cubs these next 2 years, generally he'll be the shortstop. But I'm with Bruce. Wherever you put him on the diamond, he's probably your best defender at that position.
Yeah, he can play second base, third base, shortstop. He also can catch when his brother-in-law needs to get a bullpen session in. But Mark, when you look at the crop of shortstops that we just saw, how will they affect the value of Javi Baez? Because Correa, Seager, Story, those guys, they're all pretty solid, and they could command some big dollars.
Yeah, they're going to command some big dollars, no question about it. And man, you've got just studs at that position, all coming out at the same time in free agency. I've watched Trevor Story a lot living out in Arizona. I've watched Trevor Story a lot with Colorado. He's a guy that's a high homer, high strikeout guy offensively, and he's a Gold Glove caliber defender at shortstop. Who doesn't want a player like that? Of course, Correa is just his talent is off the charts. Lindor, talent off the charts. So I think they may just kind of steal from each other because how many guys can you give $35 million a year for 10 years? Because that seems like the going rate for the best players in the game right now. So I think they might actually hurt each other's value a little bit.
I just wanted to add quickly, and Bruce, maybe you can address this. The unprecedented nature of what we're going through this year, there may be fewer teams that can afford that kind of player over the next 2 or 3
Very
years.
true.
I wonder if that might affect Javier Baez and his agent saying, if we get a big offer from the Cubs, let's take it now before this craziness starts. And, you know, payrolls may be cut in half next year. We have no idea.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? The interesting thing that Baez told me toward the end of spring training, or the end that we know, right around March 12th, was that his dream and Lindor's dream were to play together at some point down the line. Can you imagine? He said, I will play second base if Lindor is a shortstop and we go to the same team. Now, that's pie in the sky because you're talking about 30 million times 2 times how many years? I mean, I don't even think the New York Yankees could afford that at this point, but that would be something sensational to see those two as the Keystone combo.
Yeah, good
Mark, what do
luck
you
with
think?
that,
Both
right?
of those guys
Well,
playing on the same diamond?
I think that's a pipe dream. I can't see that happening. I think just as Bruce said, even the Yankees can't afford that. And I love what Lynn said as well. There's so much so many question marks and so much work about the future of baseball, the future of salaries. I just think that I and I just never had the, in my opinion, audacity to say, "Oh, I want to play with this guy, so I don't care where it is. I want to play with this guy." Man, I would have played whoever was on my team. That's who I played with.
Yeah, it's the AAU generation. Everyone trying to form super teams, but I'm sitting here over here dreaming of that double play combo. Reminds me of Roberto Alomar and Omar Vizquel for Cleveland
Woo!
back in the day. We will see. Cubs 360, there's more to come right here because Carlos Zambrano, when it comes to emotion, well, we know he brought that emotional firepower every time he was on the hill. So is he the most electric personality in Cubs history? We're going to talk about that and much more next right here. You're watching Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite.
And by the way, guys, I'm not getting a running count on the right side, so that's why the delay again to come, because all I see is Lynn Casper logged in. That's all I've got.
Okay.
So, Mark, just so you know, it populates from the bottom, not from the top. So last thing you should be seeing is Rap Cole T Zambrano.
The
So
last
don't
thing I
worry
see
about it.
is Lynn. Last thing I see is Lynn Casper logged in.
What do you see at the top?
Lynn Casper logged in.
What do you
Let's
see
see,
at the
1,
bottom?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight. Lynn Casper logged in.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so maybe
You might
it's
have to scroll down on the right-hand side, Malik. There's a scroll bar.
yeah. Okay. Well, either way, we'll clean that up and edit. Okay, guys. So Cole, for this segment, is our Miller Lite refreshing take. It'll be an imprompt of Zambrano, his last out in his 2008 no hitter. Then you'll tee up the refreshing take, reintroduce the guys, and then we're just going to have a chat on the most electric Cub ever, and we'll go to Mark first on that. So, Mark, just give us your thoughts on who you think feels the most electric Cub ever in terms of
Oh man,
emotion,
most electric
on
Cub
the field,
ever.
whatever. Yeah, yep. Just have fun with
when
it.
I was in my 13 years there, golly, the personalities then weren't like the great ones that I played
I
with
know.
were like Dawson and Sandberg, and their personalities were not, you wouldn't call them electric. Obviously, Sammy comes to
Well,
mind.
hold on, Mark. Hold on, Mark. Save it for the show. Save it for the show.
Oh, okay, but
all good.
I'm
All good.
I'm a big Sean Dunston guy.
Great. Just
Nice.
save it for the segment.
Always ran it out.
Here we go. We'll get started. You ready, Cal?
Stand by. Let me set a record.
And
Okay.
Malik, just to double check, the game is at 7:00, right? Because yesterday it was at 7:30. We had to stop and restart. So that game tonight, the no hitter versus Houston in Milwaukee.
Today's the 7th. Correct.
7:00. Got it. Yep.
I'm all good.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There you have it. Big Z's no versus Houston in Milwaukee. And you can catch that game right here at 7:00 sharp for an explanation and all the good stuff in between. And I know our guys, they remember that one well. Bruce, Len, and Mark back here on Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite. And Carlos Zambrano, that's going to get us to our Miller Lite refreshing take of the day. Because before we hit the break, we talked about electric personalities. And the question is, Carlos Zambrano, the most electric personality in the history of the Cubs? Gracie, I'll start with you.
He was certainly electric. The guys that I played with in my 13 years, the two greatest, Andre Dawson and Ryan Sandberg, you wouldn't really call them electric personalities. I know, Bruce, you covered them all those years. I mean, these are Hall of Famers, and their answers were standard. I'm just happy to help the team win, or I'm just happy to be here. Kerry Wood comes to mind. Golly, talk about the stadium would be electric every time, but every time he pitched. But man, my guy, as far as electric personalities, was Sean Dunston. Sean Dunston, quite possibly my favorite Cub teammate of all time. And he made me famous. I could catch his throws.
The ones that didn't go to Addison Street. Yeah, that's for sure. But Gracie, I'm going to go with one of your old teammates, Turk Wendell. I think there was a fascinating personality, a guy that he wore a necklace with claws from the animals that he hunted. He would always step over the line, never step on the white line, brush his teeth between innings, have the umpires roll the ball to him, not throw it to him. And if they didn't roll it, he would let the ball go by if they threw it at him. So Turk Wendell, to me, was one of the more fascinating energizers that the Cubs had during their history as well.
Well, I saw most of Big Z's career up close and personal with the Cubs, and the one thing I always said about him was you cannot take your eyes off him when he's on the baseball field, not only on the mound but at the plate. The aforementioned Javier Baez is very similar in that regard, but a couple of quick notes on Z. 5 consecutive 200 inning seasons from 2003 to 2007, put up a 3.30 earned run average, and this is in a pretty offensive minded time in Major League Baseball, as you guys know. He went 77 and 45 during that time. And Cole, with the game on tonight, Marquee Sports Network, I believe it was up until about 1 o'clock on that Sunday that we got permission to actually broadcast that game locally because it got into the ESPN exclusive window. Could you imagine a no-hitter happening, not being televised locally? It almost happened.
Yeah, if a no-hitter happens and nobody sees it, does that no-hitter really happen? And I'm sure everyone's going to be watching that no-hitter from Carlos Zambrano, as we said, against Houston in Milwaukee. Everybody except for Michael Barrett. Now, when it comes to guys that were electric on the field as well as off the field, Gracie, anyone that had a more electric personality when you were away from the friendly confines?
I think I was right there with anybody. I enjoyed the places around Wrigley Field. I enjoyed that's the great thing about playing day games. You can enjoy the restaurants, you can enjoy the establishments, you can have a good time. Just don't stay out too late. But I think man, it's just so different now with social media and camera phones and everything. You know, if you're out and about and having a glass of wine or something like that at 8 o'clock at night, somebody's gonna take a photo of you and post it on social media, and you're going to be dogged. So it's just a whole different ball game today than it was when I was playing. When you could go out and have a Hawaiian Punch or 5, and nobody gave a crap.
Yeah, you guys never went to Sports Corner or Murphy's or Sluggers after the game. That never happened because social media wasn't
never.
there.
No, I'll be the first to admit, gosh, me and Rick Sutcliffe got our mail at Murphy's Bleachers.
The postman was always happy to deliver there. Now, guys, still more to come right here as we continue to swing away on Cubs 360, including when you think of Anthony Rizzo, which words come to mind? World Series champ, all-star, leader, but how about trash talker? Well, the perception of Riz may have changed just a little bit, and we'll talk about it next right here. You're watching Cubs 360 presented by Miller Lite.
All right, guys. So one more
Awesome,
segment
Gracie.
here.
I've seen Kyle Farnsworth passed out on the stoop.
How about
Oh my God.
Farnsworth? Farnsworth missed a day game because he thought it was a night game. He was sitting in one of the bars watching the game, and he goes, "Hey, is that a replay?" He goes,
Replay?
I go,
Oops.
no, they're playing right now. Uh-oh, I guess I'm not there.
Well, and Bruce, the only thing about Turk Wendell was he was only a Cub for about a year and a half, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a
I feel
couple
like he was
years,
on the Mets
maybe.
longer.
Yeah,
he was a
Mets.
Philly and a Met.
Yeah, he signed a big deal with the Mets for 900. Was a $10 million deal, but he wanted 999,000 instead because he wore 99 on his back.
Right.
So he didn't want the full 10 million. That was Turk.
That was Turk.
He used to brush his teeth because he chewed black licorice in between every inning.
It's true.
Well, he only did that. They took all that away from him after his first start because he was doing all that crap, and then he got pounded in his first few starts, and they said, "Okay, no more of that crap." And after he left the Cubs, he was a reliever the rest of his life.
Yeah, and a good one.
Very good one.
I love when you can see guys just reinvent themselves. Like especially like watching Rich Hill. You know, from when he was a Cub to now. I mean, it's
All right,
you
guys,
see
real
all those
quick. So
different guys who come through.
last segment, you guys will each have about 30 seconds to tell us who you feel the biggest trash talker in Major League Baseball, current or past, is. MajorLeagueBaseball.com wrote an article yesterday saying that, and they ranked the biggest trash talker on every team. Rizzo, for some reason, was the biggest trash talker on the Cubs. So we'll just have fun with this. Just tell us who you think your biggest trash talker is currently or ever. And like I said, about 30 seconds each guy. So let's just do this. We'll go Bruce first, then we'll go Lynn, and then we'll end on Grace. All right, Bruce, Lynn, Grace. That's how we'll do it. So Cole, you'll set us up. So Cole, there's something that's not in your script. You're actually getting a toss here from Ryan Dempster. All right, he's just promoting Off the Mound Friday. So
Oh,
just
okay,
say
so
looking
yeah,
forward
thanks,
to
Tim.
Ryan.
We'll tune in on Friday.
Yep, exactly. And
Yep.
then you're off
Back
and
here
running.
in Cubs 360 in the meantime. You got it.
Yep. So Kevin, let's just stay on the fourth side until we get to Bruce, and then we'll go Lynn, and then we'll end on Grace, and then Cole will say goodbye after that. All right,
Copy
guys.
that. I'm
So
ready.
is this coming back in? That's a whatchamacallit, isn't it? That's a VO, or is it was a full screen?
That's a VO.
Okay, you got it.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks, Demp. We'll be sure to tune in on Friday, no doubt about that. But in the meantime, welcome back to Cubs 360. Now, MLB.com, they listed the biggest trash talker on every single squad. And the Cubs selection, well, it was Anthony Rizzo. Now, you may remember Riz mixing it up just a little bit back in 2014 with Aroldis Chapman when he was on Cincinnati. But those kinds of outbursts, they've been few and far between since. Now, back here with the guys, Bruce, Len, and Mark. And we had to go there after we saw Riz voted the biggest trash talker on the Cubs. So, Bruce, I'll start with you. When it comes to the art of trash talk in the game of baseball, who's the best you've ever seen?
No, I think Ozzie Guillen. When you get Ozzie
Ooh.
going, he would be not only out there with the rest of the guys, but the bench. They could when he had a day off, the manager. It was the worst day for La Russa or Lamont or any of his managers because he would never stop talking. And the same thing with the opponents. So I'm going all time Ozzie Guillen. He's my favorite, one of the best guys ever in the game, and such a fun guy as well.
Ozzy's a great choice, but hey, it's 2020, guys. I got to go with the social media angle. Nothing better than a good Alex Bregman, Trevor Bauer Twitter battle. Those guys have no qualms going at it pretty viciously on social media, and that makes for fun matchups when the Astros and I guess now Reds would get together.
And I would have to go with Tommy Lasorda. Tommy Lasorda.
Oh.
Tommy was always in the first base dugout at Wrigley Field, and Tommy always had a lot of very colorful language towards me for about 9 innings. My favorite one Tommy told me one time was, "Grace, you're so slow. If you raced a pregnant lady, you'd come in third."
Tony La Russa,
And
we know
unfortunately, I
that
think he was right.
yeah, we know he knew his way around the dugout as well around some trash talk. And I'm going to go with the guy that seems to be my fallback here on Cubs 360. He was Tony La Russa's leadoff hitter once upon a time. But Ricky Henderson, anytime a guy can talk in third person, more times than not, well, your trash talk legend has been cemented. Now, speaking of cement, well, we're about to cement our way out of here on Cubs 360 because our time has come to a close. So for everybody at Marquee Sports Network, including Bruce, Len, and Mark, I'm Cole Wright. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, you guys are clear. Bruce and Lynn. Bruce and Lynn are clear. Mark, if you can just stick around with Cole real quick. We're going to tape another segment real quick. All right. Good job. Thanks, Lynn.
See you guys.
So long,
Thanks,
guys.
Bruce. All right. Talk to you guys soon.
See you, Cole.
Good stuff, guys.
Hey, Cole, can you check your email? Cole, you got me?
Yeah, I got it.
And before Cole
Oh,
logs off, we have that thank you spot. Just a reminder.
No doubt.
so, but you have those questions for Grace that we're going to do here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Gracie, we're just going to hit you up on some topics, some hot topics that are going on in baseball. Just kind of go through it with us. Again, this is just being taped, so if something goes wrong and you stop down, just stop down and then just keep going, and we'll clean it up and
Okay,
edit.
no problem. Yeah, you guys are back up on my list over here. We're all good.
Okay. So, but this is just you two, so all good. We don't even have to worry about that.
Okay.
So, Cole, just
No problem.
introduce them, bring them in, and then you can just go with the first question.
Yep.
Okay.
Is this going to be just on the site, or is this going to be part of another show?
We'll probably cover it and maybe even either run it tomorrow or Monday in 360.
Cool.
As a segment itself.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Kevin, you good?
Yeah, I'll start in a single and bring in the boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Don't feel it's okay if you hang on Grace too as well.
Copy that.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Time now to take a spin around Major League Baseball as we hit on a variety of topics, and who better to do so than former Cubs All-Star first baseman. Yeah, there he is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Grace is going to be on the call for a handful of games this season right here on Marquee Sports Network. Now, Mark, the latest report has indicated that 10 teams, they'd be aligned into 3 different divisions. So word on the street is that they do away with the American League and the National League. How do you think that could all shake out, especially when the Cubs and the White Sox are both in the Central?
Well, first of all, how the heck are you, Cole? Good to talk to you.
Likewise.
I think everything right now, Cole, is just they're all just ideas. I don't think there's anything even close yet to being figured out. I think right now they're all just ideas. I think as we speak, I think there's going to be baseball this year. There's going to be baseball in some way, somehow. I kind of like that concept of the West, Central, East situation.
Yeah.
And I really think somehow, some way, I think that could work. But you've got the ground zero is the Northeast, and that would be New York, Philly, Boston, those areas. Those are teams that you're going to have to do something with. You're probably not going to be able to have them playing home games, in my opinion.
Now, Mark, if there were to be baseball, word on the street right now is that there could be a universal DH. So when it comes to strategy, some of that could be watered down just a little bit. Do you think that this is something that we could see, not just this season, but moving forward, that universal DH?
Well, and as a guy that played 16 years in the National League, I'm a National League guy.
Mhm.
I love the bunt. I love pitchers being able to bunt. I love that part of the game. I think I'm kind of a dinosaur now in that mindset. I think people love offense, people love home runs, and DHs they're gonna hit a hell of a lot more home runs than pitchers are. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see a universal DH, and I think probably within a couple 3 years.
Yeah, fans, they do love the home run. Bunts, not so much, but at last look, bunts,
Right.
what do? They score runs, that's for sure. Now, when it
It's
comes to
great
those
strategy,
fans,
exactly.
there's absolutely. Now, we've talked about the fact that there could be an absence of fans this season. How do you think that that's going to affect the way the players go out there every single day and prepare for a game day in and day out?
Well, players, there is, honestly, Cole, there is nothing better than playing in front of a packed house. I don't care if it's a home game or an away game. Players want to play in front of big crowds. And now I think there's also an understanding that if it can't be done, certainly we understand that and players understand that. But I just hope there's somehow, some way that not only the country can open up at a decent pace, but also baseball can open up at a decent pace. Because I just don't know how how great it would be for these players to play in front of zero fans, with no concessions, with no, you can't have a hot dog, you can't have anything. That just seems strange to me.
We know we're not going to get a 162 game season, so maybe we'll
Right.
get 80, perhaps 100. How many games do they need to have this year for it to be an official season, at least in your mind?
What a great question. I've been asked this a few times, and I don't care if it's a 25 game season. We have to have something this year. And you know what? If that's the case, you know what? Get hot for 25 games, guys, and then we'll go straight to the playoffs. But honestly, I think it would need to be at least 50 or 60. But I I miss the game, man. I need to see some baseball, and I don't care how much. I just need to see some.
Yeah, it's all about the thrill of competition. And we know that this 2020 Cubs team, they're ready to compete. They've made the postseason 4 of the last 5 years. Gracie, what makes you think that this team was really poised to make some noise this season?
Well, I think there was some question mark. This team is dynamite. I think there's certainly some question marks, especially in the bullpen. I think there's the question for the starting rotation might be age. And now, if there's no baseball this year, now that elderly starting rotation just got a year older. So so there's definitely some question marks. I think offensively, they're as good as anybody in the game, and I think they need to improve defensively as well. That was a bit of a surprising downturn last year, what we saw from this team defensively.
Yeah, that starting rotation, they are receiving AARP benefits. But the good thing about the bullpen is there's a lot of guys that
Nothing
are
wrong with
6'4"
that,
to
Cole.
six
Nothing wrong
seven.
with that.
Yeah. And all those big trees down there in the bullpen, they all throw 95 plus. So if you're David Ross, that's a good problem to have. Now, Rossi in his first year at the helm for the Cubs, how do you think things are going to transition for him from being that player who was so invested to now being the skipper, Mark?
Well, one thing that David has, and the most important thing, and he's not only respected by his players and his coaches, but he's respected around the league. He's respected by front office people, from the media, because he did media stuff. So the media is going to be going to treat him fairly. I think he's got a great bunch of guys that'll listen to him, respect him as far as his players. So I don't see the transition being difficult at all for Rossi. As a matter of fact, I expect him to excel.
Okay, put yourself in Rossi's shoes. If you had to pencil in a lineup, if there's any one player that reminds you the most of you, who would it be on this 2020 roster?
Let's see. The Rizzo and I are left-handed and we're first baseman, but
I saw that first base breakdown,
brings,
which was impeccable, by the way.
Yeah, he brings. I have such a love for his game. He beats you on the offensive side of the ball. He beats you on the defensive side of the ball. He's a smart baseball player. So I would love to compare myself to him, but he hits a few more balls onto Sheffield Avenue than I did. But I think if there was a guy that reminded me, oh gosh, maybe a Ben Zobrist type of guy, something like that. But nah, I'm going with Rizzo. Me and Anthony. Come on, stay with me, Riz.
Oh, okay, all right. And if there's one piece of advice that you could give to any one guy in particular on this year's roster, who would it be, Mark?
Oh man, I would say somebody like Almora, something like that, coming off a difficult year. It happens. Difficult years happen. I would probably say, you know what, go out there and go out there with the confidence you had a couple of years ago. Go out there and I'm not gonna say the phrase, but you got to play this game sometimes with some forget you in you. And I think that might be what he needs to go out is add a little more forget you to his game.
Okay, Mark. Now, full disclosure, I grew up watching you play first base on WGN here, and Harry Carey on Steve Stone on the call time and time again. But when it came to my ultimate Cubs lineup, I had a memory lapse. I don't know why I didn't go your direction, but I went with Derek Lee. When it comes to your ultimate Cubs lineup,
he was a great player.
He was. I feel like recency got the better of me. But when it comes to your ultimate Cubs lineup, did you pencil yourself in at first base?
Oh man, heck yeah. Heck yeah. I think honestly it could be a three-way tie with Rizzo, myself, and Derek Lee. You know, people forget just what a great player Derek Lee was. Um, I think man, you know, Sandberg at second, Baez at short. Let's see, third base would have to be Bryant. Catcher, maybe a who's the catcher? I love Wilson behind the plate. Back there now Contreras,
Yeah.
but Jody Davis was a great one. On obviously Andre Dawson, Sammy Sosa, and in center field, I'm going to throw you a curveball and say Brian McRae. He was a great teammate, and I loved him.
Ooh. And his father, Hal McRae, had one of the best tirades
Yes.
of all time. I thought
Ooh.
maybe at catcher you were going to go with Rick Rona. Rick Rona back in the day. Just a blast.
There's another
Just a
guy that
blast
I
from the
played
past
with.
there.
Rick Rona, good
Hey,
call.
Mark, as always, good catching up with you and appreciate you taking the time out to answer a few questions for us here.
Good to see you, Cole. Thanks, man.
Likewise.
All right,
You all
we're
right?
clear there. Yeah, good job,
Good
Mark.
stuff.
We got
Good stuff,
to
Mark.
get back on those sometime soon. All right, now that you got the hang of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was a fun
All right,
run.
guys. You guys have a great rest of your day, and call me if you need anything.
You too, brother. No
All
doubt.
right, Mark. Thank you. All right, Cole. We got to tape one more thing with you, right?
Yeah. Where is that? Paula sent me that.
Yeah, Paul. We
Um,
just need you on the single.
See, I'll send it again.
No, he'll find
I
it.
have it. I have it. I got it.
He'll get it. You got it.
Does he got it?
I got it, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
See, okay, I'll send it again.
Are we ready?
Just go when you're ready.
I'm rolling.
All
You
right.
want the 360 logo
Hold on a
up there,
second.
right?
No.
Hold
No.
on a
Okay.
second. I feel like there's people next door talking. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Hold on a second. All right. I think whoever
And
it was, they left.
then Kevin Riley, we'll talk to Cole about this after he does this.
You guys ready?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. We're all missing those special moments when baseball brings us together. For now, let the memories of the good times get you through. Thank you to those who are working hard to keep everyone safe. 3, 2, 1. Thanks to those who are working hard on the front lines, as well as those keeping everyone safe and sound at home. Thank you, Chicago, for staying safe at home. We'll have more of those memorable moments soon enough. Good?
Hey, Riley, you want to get on? He's done.
I'm here. Riley, I'm here. What?
You want to talk to Cole on VMix?
Oh, oh shit! I thought everybody dropped off.
I just sent you a new one, Riley. Just sent you a new one.
I thought, okay. Give us a second.